Hey everyone, it's Apache here and welcome back to another episode of Vintage Story here on the Rusty Gears SMP server. Thank you very much for joining me today and continuing to show your support for the series. If you do enjoy this episode, please leave a like and a comment, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. So the very first thing we're going to do in this episode is have a look at a minigame that Apache has made just behind over here. This is basically a darts game, I think, something like this. We'll have a look at it now. Some stuff here. So the instructions: take 3 spears, stand behind each of the fences at each point and throw. So a bullseye here is 3 points, the inner circle is 2 points and the outer ring is 1 point. And then we have a number of scores over here. So we can see Nathan scored 3, Nathan on stream scored 6, Shinu scored 3, Andy Days scored 5, Jaybird scored 5, Papa Cheddar has scored 8 and 6 respectively. And so this is the board here. So this is the bullseye, the inner ring and the outer ring. So I believe you get 1 attempt at each, and I haven't really tried that much with spears in this game before, so this will be quite interesting. There's quite a strong wind, as you can see. Whether that's going to affect it or not. This is number 1. So let's see. Let's see how far we can get. Ooh, okay. So that is... Oh. Can't get that close. I'm going to say that was in the inner ring. So that is 2 points. And then from over here. This one's going to need to be a bit more, I'd say about there. Oh no, way more than that. Okay, these have quite a lot of drop on them. So again, that is in the inner ring, so that is 4 points in total so far. And then this is number 3, so we're gonna have to be really quite high up here, maybe even more than this. Let's just forget that happened, eh? So we're going to have our first one here as 4 points. And now I'm going to go and try and find where that landed. There it is. So that was a terrible game. But I want to try something. I want to test something. We have got a load of spearheads from our panning, and it also means we've got a load of copper spearheads. So do copper spearheads actually make a difference with this? So over here we've got some copper spearheads, and what I was actually going to do is take a few of these over for him. All of these, and I'll take these as well. And we'll come back up. We'll make a copper head, a copper spear, because I want to see whether there's any difference between throwing a copper spear and throwing a normal flint spear. So standing here at number 1, I want to see if we aim just at the top there. This is with a flint spear. Okay, so we are just a bit off there. But is this going to have any less or any more drag on it with the copper spear? Okay, that actually does fly a bit higher. There's less of an arc on it. And again. Okay, so it does seem quite random. There's no real way to tell. So it looks like there's not going to be much difference between them at all. Maybe we'll come back later in the episode and we'll see if we can beat this score. I'm sure we will be able to. That wasn't too good of a show. But I have added in all of these spearheads, both the copper ones and the regular ones, into this chest so that people can continue playing. So I have been very busy between episodes making up a load of this meteoric iron ingots here. And we're going to turn a lot of this actually into tools today, because we're going to go through a huge amount of these. I'm mostly on shovels and on some scythes, because I've got a load of chests over here, but I need to fill. We need a load of chirp gravel, and a load of these different types of gravel down here for feathering of path blocks, or feathering the paths, texturing all the paths. We need the path blocks themselves, and the stairs, and the slabs. And we're also going to need a load of packing material for terraforming. So we'll pack the land with a load of cob, and then we will use the low soil and medium soil as a top soil layer. A load of hay bales for making scaffolding as well for building. And so this is all the stuff we're basically going to need before we can really start get going with the big build projects that I want to do. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to jump into super fast grind mode, and we are going to fill all of these chests. So let's go. So now we have all of these different materials that we can start playing around with. And I've also made a load of dark mud bricks and dark mud brick slabs as well. And the only thing we actually have run out of already is the hay bales. We have 32 left, and we don't even have any over here either. And I've even not got enough to fill all of this. So we're going to have to go around and collect a load more grass while we're going. But I did want to mention one thing while we're in here. You can see all of this mist around. And this has been really bugging me. I find it difficult to actually record in this room whilst the mist is here. And I think this is a bit of a bug in the game, where this stuff is not really supposed to happen indoors, really, is it? So I've gone ahead and actually fixed it. If I press F8, I've got accessibility tweaks on the game here. It's a client-side mod that I've created. And if we come into visual effects settings here, I've actually added a new one called Mist Effects. And if I click on this to disable it, so much better. So we are out here seemingly in the middle of nowhere. But this is going to be the place where I will build up my new industrial district. Now this, if we have a look on the map, this is a huge claystone desert. It's close to where this is where I dug out a load of the grass and stuff within the time lapse. And if we have a look down here, this is where our trader is, our furniture trader, and our big area and our mountain. So it's not too far away from there, it's just like a trip through the woods and into the desert area there. And just to show you where that is compared to the spawn town here, that's the starter base there. And so we're pretty much just straight across the lake and then up to here. So it's about twice the distance away from where we've been going for our luxuries merchant. And you can see this is where Andy is setting up his big base there. So we are probably about, say, that will be about a quarter of a distance between here and maybe a little bit more, about 20% of a distance, really, isn't it? So yeah, this is where we are anyway. And I have taken a few trips to get a load of stuff over here, including a load of the mechanical stuff which I've been building up, so that we can actually start building up our kind of technological stuff with all the mechanics and the windmills and all the ugly stuff. So that is what we're going to be working on. Now I need to actually mark out some of the area around here, because if we come over and grab some cobblestone, if we type .debug chunk wireframe space chunk, that pops up these big black markers all over the place here. And you can see this line is the chunk border between this chunk and this chunk. And if we have a look up in the air, you'll be able to see this marks out where this chunk is. And then if we move, that marks where this chunk is. And again, we can see the different chunks that we're in. And this matters for performance sake. We're going to be building some pretty decently large machines here and storage facilities and all that kind of stuff. So we want to make sure that all of that stuff is not on a chunk border and is preferably within one single chunk. And then this is far enough away from our main village here so that when we are over in our main kind of big base area, that none of this will actually be loaded at all, and so it's not going to have an effect on server performance. And then I can just come over here when nobody else is on the server, I can use all the stuff, I can grind down all the stuff in the querns, I can use all the pulverizers, I can use all of the hell hammers and everything, without it actually having an effect on anybody else on the server at all. So eventually I want to build up a big ziggurat in the sky here, and I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to have the top of the ziggurat being one large open space which is the size of a single chunk. So if we actually mark out the edges of a chunk here, the outside edges, so we know that everything within this area is going to be a inside the chunk. And so we'll do that. Then we'll come over to this side as well. And we'll do that. And then over here, we'll mark out this edge as well. And so now everything within this area here will be ours to do with as we will. And from this side, there we go. Get rid of that bit. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, a bit of a lag spike there. I get those, it's not the game, it is my computer at the moment, which is just being a little bit slow. And so there we go. That will mark out the area of our base, well, our little industrial district here. So I've now made this area nice and flat and taken out everything from inside it. So we should be, oh, there's one just here. We should be able now to actually start placing stuff inside here. So if we head back on over to where we've got all the supplies, first of all I need to grab something to eat. I've brought some food over with me, some sealed food, and I've double trapdoored that so that it will be as good as it can be. We need to make sure we place all the food back inside there. We have a rift there, but it's daytime, so the rifts don't matter during the day, unless we actually step inside it, which we're not going to do. We'll place some of this away. Oh, what do we need? We are going to need some scaffolding, a little bit of structural support, torch, forge, rotors, large gears, help hammer, the anvil, nice chest over there as well. We'll want some charcoal, crucibles, and ingot molds. And then we're going to want some axles and some gears. You can see just here we've missed a couple of these as well. And one just here. This rift is going to be really annoying while we work, so we'll come into accessibility tweaks again, go to the sound effects tab, and if we have a look for rift here, we can just mute it while we're working, and that'll shut that up. And I usually mute them during the day and then unmute them at night, so we know when they're actually dangerous. I want them around. So I suppose in the middle here is a good place as any. We'll place the chest down. We'll put all of our stuff we don't need till later down inside there. In fact, we'll keep those out. We'll place those down, not there, but next to it. Now, our anvil, let's work backwards from here, I suppose. If the anvil goes there, then this would go there. The base would go there, and that would go there onto that. So there is our help hammer setup. Now, did I make a transition and a clutch? I can't remember. No, I did not. Okay. We're just going to have this as a kind of permanently working one for now, and we'll just move the anvil in and out, and then I will bring over a clutch later on. So we're going to have the transmission is going to go there. This is going to be swapped out for a transition eventually, and so we're going to want one more, I think. And then we will start bringing it upwards. So we'll have some scaffolding, and that goes onto there. Some more scaffolding here. And this will be our first of the large wooden gears. That'll come onto that. And so this is going to need to be going up now. So grab our scaffolding back. So I'm just trying to think of this as I go. What are we needing to do? And then we will bring this up from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 8 will be fine for now. And then we can put the second of these on. And then hopefully, if I drop one of those down, it'll be okay to come back underneath it. And we need to put these spokes out. So now from here we can place in the rest of these. And then on the end of those we're going to want the rotors. So now if we come out to the end here. Okay, we can't place it like that. But we can do it like that. So we're going to have another bit of scaffolding just here. This is the difference between building one of these in survival and building it in creative. I've built a massive stack of these in creative. I'm trying to work out what I want to do here. But doing it in survival is quite a bit different. So we should be able to come back down now. Now all that's left to do is to place all of the sails on. So we'll place this down here. We've got 80 sails here. And if I put this one for now, that'll stop the torque from being an issue. Now, is this all correct? We have the rotors up here. These are coming into this one. This is coming down into this one. And then we're stepping up the speed by 5 into this configuration here, which should make this health hammer 5 times faster than it otherwise would have been. And but that does mean that the torque on it is 5 times less. So it will take 5 times less stopping power to be able to stop it. So we're counteracting that by having lots of windmills on here to try and kind of increase the amount of power we're putting into the system so that the health hammer can actually still run at that increased speed. So I suppose if we do these one at a time, go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Need 20 for each of them. So we can grab out, that'll be enough for 3 of the sides. And then we should just be okay to scaffold up on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then come back down. And we will repeat that on all the other sides. So now we have 4 windmill blades all going around, and I know this looks a bit weird because they are kind of intersecting each other. But that's exactly why we've got an industrial... Whoa, wow, I didn't know that. Hello. That's why we've got an industrial district here, so that we can have these kind of ugly things up and around, and we can make the most out of the mechanics and the mechanical systems of the game as we can. So let's place this into here and make sure that we've got this working. Now obviously the wind is very, very slow at the moment. Let's have a look at the wind speed. Wind velocity 0.2, going down 0.1. Yeah, so we're on very, very low wind speeds here at the moment. And that is why eventually we're going to be lifting this up into the air. There is a mechanic in the game where up to 50 blocks above sea level. The sea level is 110. So up to level 160, there is an increase in the efficiency of these of the windmills. So if we start placing them down at level 160 and go up from there, then even the bottom ones will have the most wind power that they can possibly get. Now I know that some people will say, why are you building like this? Why haven't you got any structure to it? It looks ugly with the kind of spindly type of the axles here, with no structure around it. But that is exactly how I want this to be, especially at the beginning, whilst we've got no other kind of buildings or infrastructure around here. I want it to look very, very industrial and mechanical. I want you to be able to see all the moving parts inside it. It's kind of the same in Minecraft. The reason why people have build redstone devices and then encase them in glass so that you can see all the working parts. That's just how I like to build with this kind of stuff. I like to be able to see exactly how it works and all the different moving parts of it. So I'm sure a number of you will have spotted the mistakes here way before I did, but I've been editing the last bit of footage and I've realised I made a few crucial mistakes here. So we're going to fix those now. We're going to take all of this down and this, and we're going to take at least one off of there. Now I'm hoping that I don't have to move all of this up by one. I'm hoping this will be okay. But as you can see, I've actually made a couple of transitions and clutches as well in preparation for this. So we're going to put a transmission down here and get a clutch on there as well. And then we've got a chest here, we can put the other one in. And I've made a third large cogwheel as well. So this will go here. Now, in order to get the step up, we need to actually put this third one on here. Now, as you can see, we have got coming off of the into the side of here, we have got these the propellers or the rotors, and these will spin this wheel at a certain speed. This wheel will transfer its rotational energy down this shaft here and then into this. So this gear here, this large gear here, and that one up there are spinning at the same rate. And so then if you take an output off of this, it will be spinning at the same rate as the ones above. Now that's not actually what we want at all. What we want is to have, we get some 6 up here. I'm just working out if I've got enough room here to be able to put this in. And I think I might. It's going to have to be there, so I'm going to actually have to do this a little bit more of an awkward way, because we're going to have to bring it off this, just because of the way that I have actually laid this out, which is annoying, but it will do for now, because we can add it down onto the ground here, just there, and that should be perfectly in line. Because what we need to do is bring that up to there and one more. Now we'll probably need another bit of scaffolding here, which means I'll need to be able to get up there as well to be able to place these on. And now what you can see happening is that this is acting at the same speed as the one up there. What would normally happen if you brought this off, just as we did before, into the Hellhammer, whatever speed that is rotating at above, it's just transferring that speed down here and then across here, and then we are transferring it down here and into this. And now you can see that this wheel here is actually spinning much faster than the one up there. And that is where we get 5 times rotation speed from. And if you haven't done kind of mechanical engineering or anything before, this might be very, very convoluted and sound very, very strange. But it's all about ratios. This gear here is effectively 5 times bigger than this one here. 5 times the volume of this one up here. So every time this one does every time this big wheel does 1 revolution, this small wheel does 5. And that's how we get speed up or speed down in rotational energy. And so now if we place this onto here, you can see that this drive shaft here is running much, much faster than it was before. Going crazy, crazy fast. And luckily we've got a decent amount of wind at the moment. And now when we engage the clutch, you see everything slows down quite a lot, but what is happening is that this is hitting much, much quicker than it used to. And you'll see what I mean with the torque here. If I just go into here, sound effect settings, anvil. We'll just shut all of that off for now, just so we can talk. So yeah, this you can see it's slowing down and speeding up a little bit, and that is the amount of torque that's going through the system. These rotors will actually only output a certain amount. I think we can actually jump up here and see if I can pillar properly. First, so we can see on here. Try and get one more up. That might actually break these now, so I won't risk it. But yeah, we can see output 100 kilonewtons there. So that is the actual amount of thrust which is being put into the system, the amount of rotational energy which is being put into the system. And then that is being transferred down here. We lose a little bit at each stage, but the amount of torque that this gives isn't huge because we've only got 4 rotors applying the same amount of force to the same rotational cog here. I know I'm not explaining this very well, but the science behind it is sound. And the more that you play with these things, the easier it does get. But basically you have to have 3 of these rotational, or 3 of the large cogs to be able to increase the speed of 1 or more hell hammers. So I'm sorry if I didn't really explain that very well. It's difficult to try and work out exactly how to explain this kind of stuff on camera. So if you're interested, there is a lot of information about this online, of course. Just any kind of basic mechanical engineering guidebook will tell you all about the torque and the rotational transfer of energy, that kind of stuff. And if you follow the basic guides of mechanical engineering with these kind of systems, you can't go wrong. But I think that is where we're going to leave things off for today. We actually have a Hellhammer setup going, and it's running pretty fast, so that's pretty good. And we have, you know, you can see it's not running massively fast here, but it's still outputting a decent amount of speed to the Hellhammer. This place is going to look very, very different in the next few upcoming episodes. We are going to be working quite heavily over here to build this place up. Not the big ziggurat in the sky just yet, that will come much later on, but to be able to get a decent operation set up here so we can start mass producing various different resources that we're going to need for some of the bigger builds. So yes, thank you for joining me today. If you did enjoy this episode, please leave a like, comment and subscribe on the video and to the channel, and I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting me by subscribing to the channel and liking and commenting on the videos. Thanks. See you next time.